Yeah, I don't normally wear a tie. The last time anybody's seen me in a tie was 6 months ago at the last Mike Ferry seminar. Like, where did all those ties go? I got to search through my closet. All right. So let's get rolling. Welcome back, everybody, and welcome to anybody that's new on the call. So this week, I'm doing the call from Las Vegas. I'm actually at the Mike Ferry Superstar Retreat in Las Vegas, which happens virtually twice a year. And I thought I would just share some of the points from the retreat from this morning's sessions, because you know, for those of you that don't know Mike, Mike is like the guy that originated coaching. He originated real estate coaching, and he's been doing this for now 45 years. And so he has such a wonderful perspective, because he deals with top agents across the country, and he's been doing it for decades. And especially in a changing market like this, it's just so important to have a little bit of perspective on what we're dealing with. We've all noticed the market's getting a little funky, right? It's been over the past several months, it's been changing. So how do we address those changes? How do we adjust to those changes? How do we adapt to those changes? And the more adaptable we can be, then the more prepared we will be to really not just kind of make it through, but to actually improve, to actually thrive, to actually take more market share, to actually grow our business through a changing market. So let me go through some of those points, because really a great agent in a changing market does better. A changing market for most agents, it's really scary. Like, oh my God, prices are coming down, and I don't know, I'm not getting multiple offers anymore, and stuff is not flying off the shelves. But the truth of the matter is, when you're a really skilled agent, this market is built for us. So the more skilled we can become each week by participating in education, things like this call, then the better off we're going to be having success in a market that is changing. One of the things he opened with, this is kind of funny, is quit looking for the magic answer. Quit looking for the magic answer. In this business, in real estate, we're always looking for the magic answer. There's a whole industry that is to get money from real estate agents, because it's just selling us the magic bullet, the magic answer, the secret pill, whatever it is. Buy this program and you'll take listings, or pay us money for this amazing whatever, and you'll get business from it. And so his first point of the day really was, quit looking for magic answers. Stop looking to do deals without working. It takes a level of work, but if you work smart and effectively, it starts to flow in a really consistent and duplicatable and profitable way. So this is now, since let's say January, when the rates started raising, really what that means is we're getting into a more what we call normal real estate market. It's more of a normal market. The past couple of years has not been normal, right? Can we all agree on that? It has not been normal. Very low inventory. Has it been easy to take listings? Just, are they plentiful? Are they just all over the place? No, it's not a normal market. When you're working with a buyer, is it easy to get an offer accepted in the past 2 years? No way. 10, 15, 20 offers. That is not normal. And what's happening now is we're stepping into more of a normal market. All that means is that we have to just continue to increase our skills so that we can really effectively navigate our way through that normal market and just crush it like we've never done before. Some of the things that identify a normal market are, let's say, if you overprice a listing, it's not going to sell right away. You actually have to learn how to do price reduction. That's a normal market. But in the past 2 years, if you overpriced a listing, what would happen? You'd still have 10 offers, right? That's a normal market. In a normal market, we start to see more expired listing, more canceled listings. We start to see for sale by owners that they don't just sell themselves. That's a more normal market. In a normal market, days on market starts to go up. These are all indications of a more normal market. The reason why we're just going through this is just to illustrate we're not in a bad market. Are things flying off the shelves with 15 offers? No, but that's okay. We're just now in a normal market. In normal market, days on market can be 60 days. Days on market can be 90 days. Days on market can be 120 days. It's okay. It's a normal market. In a normal market, a certain number of the transactions are going to fall apart. That's normal. It's normal. So if a transaction falls apart, does it mean that your whole world is falling apart? No. As soon as you have a little bit of an anticipation that that's part of a normal market, then you can better be prepared for it and you can coach your clients through it. And the last thing, and most importantly, is a normal market is just great for quality agents. A normal market really differentiates. That's what makes you guys really be able to stand out to your clients. Could anybody sell a home a year ago? You had to have a real estate license, throw a price on it, put it on the market, it's sold. But now as the market is has changed into a more normal market, that's when our skills become important. And so I think this is an opportunity for all of us from here moving forward, not to be concerned about, oh my God, what's happening to the market, but to be more educated and to improve our skills so we can deal with the market more efficiently. Something to remember is that buyers and sellers are usually 6 to 9 months behind like what's going on in reality. And what that means is, if you guys have listings right now, do your sellers think that their house is worth more than it's actually worth? Have they caught on to the fact that prices have come down a little bit? Have they caught on to the fact that there's less showings and less offers and they're going to get less money? Have they caught on to that? The answer is no in many cases. So buyers and sellers, the public, is usually about 6 to 9 months behind. And all that really means is that we have to do a better job in sharing information with them, in asking questions, and making sure that we're educating our clients. If we're not educating our clients, we're just setting ourselves up for a lot of frustration. Right? We have a listing that we brought out a couple of weeks ago. It would have sold for $200,000 more 6 months ago. But we didn't put it on the market 6 months ago. We put it on the market 2 weeks ago. And it's not flying off the shelf. And the seller's calling like, it's not sold. Like, what's going on? I'm like, Ellen, it's okay. Relax. Like, it's going to take some time. We're getting showings and this is the market we're in. So you have to be able to share that with your clients. So these are some of the things that I wanted to go over today that we can actually share with clients, share with buyers, share with sellers. And there's a bunch of these changes that if we write them down and we start to share them with our clients and even with our database, the more we share this information and keep the people that are important to us in tune with what's going on out there, it does two things actually. Number one, it really separates us as a professional. It really shows our clients, our friends, our database, our neighbors, the people we do business with. It shows our community that supports us that we're professionals, that we can be counted on, and that we can deliver good quality information. And the second thing it does is that it gives them a degree of trust in us when they have to transact real estate, or when they have a friend or a coworker that needs to transact, and it leads to more referrals. So the first thing that I wrote down some things for us to share with our clients, for us to share with ourselves, really, to understand for ourselves and to share when appropriate with buyers, sellers, and our database. Number one is days on market has extended, and it is continuing to extend. That's probably a good thing to share with your seller clients, right? Days on market is extending and it's continuing to extend. It's a good thing to share with your buyers too. Because you don't want a new buyer you're working with, oh my God, the property's been on the market for 18 days. What's wrong with it? Nothing's wrong with it. That's a perfectly legitimate time frame to be on the market. So it's important to educate clients that days on market is extending and will probably continue to extend a little bit more. That's a normal market. Number two, the amount of inventory, the number of homes for sale nationally, is growing. It's growing. That's a good thing. It gives buyers more options. It gives buyers more choices. They don't have to be forced to buy something that they're not totally stoked about, right? but it's an important conversation to have with clients and with yourself to understand that inventory is growing. If you're going on a listing appointment, Ray, let's say you're going on a listing appointment, it's important to understand that inventory is growing. It's important to understand that days on market is going up. Sorry. Because you don't want to be sitting on that appointment promising the world, and then 2 weeks later, they're saying, Ray, what gives? You promised the world. You said we were going to sell at this number, and now you're asking us to reduce the price. You said we would sell in just a few days, and we're still sitting here on the market. So important to set the expectation. The third thing to understand about this market is that there's fewer COVID buyers today, and there are less. All the COVID buyers have already bought. So basically what that means is this. During COVID, normally in the US, it's about 5 million transactions. That's a normal year. Last year, there was like 6 million. There was an extra million transactions that happened nationwide, primarily due to COVID. People were escaping. People were, rates were low. Inflation was up. A great way to hedge against inflation was buy real estate. People were taking that opportunity. They were at home and they were pouring into making their home environment and escaping to something. So those COVID transactions have now disappeared. So we're going to see a few less transactions than we did in the past year or two. Important to know. Point number 4, price reductions are now in play. Price reductions. For those of you that take a lot of listings or that take any listings, when's the last time you had to ask for a price reduction? Not for the past couple of years. So how good are your skills with regard to asking for price reductions? How good are your scripts? Are you tracking the inventory? We didn't have to do any of this stuff for the past couple of years, right? Put it on the market, it sells. But now you have to actually take a step back, look at the competition, look at what's selling, seeing if your competition is reducing price, and instructing your sellers where they need to be priced appropriately. So for those of you that are newer to the business, maybe you haven't been in the business for a long time. Maybe you've only been in the business for a couple of years, and you've just seen an uptrending market. Well, price reductions are now a very important part of your skill set. So think about that and consider that and start to have these conversations with your clients. Next point, interest rates will continue to go up and down. Just accept the fact that it's going to be a little bit of a roller coaster ride. Dave, you have something to say because your eyebrows just went up about 4 inches. So tell us what's going on with interest rates.
Well, I mean, they're high. I mean, and they're unaffordably high. And it's been a real interesting thing for me because I've got buy side clients now on the mortgage side that are calling me and saying, hey, I've got to adjust the cost of property that I'm looking to purchase now. I mean, like I had 2 buy side clients on the real estate side that were looking in the $2 million range, and that's changed. Now they're looking in the 1.6 range.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, because there's still a little bit of a shortage. I mean, there's not a lot of inventory in that 1.6 range. That's not, what at least the client perceives as beneath them.
Yep.
So that it's a tough sell for sure.
Yeah, it's an interesting predicament.
Yeah, but the sell through is, and as I keep telling them, look, if you can afford even, let's just call it for the next 2, 3, 4 years, that payment at 2 million or $1.8 million, rates are going to come back down, and you can always refinance that property, and you can always rewrite the loan, and there's some short-term pain, but you're going to get yourself into the game. Mm-hmm. Which for the last 2 years, I mean, how many young people have said, I just keep getting outbid, or the cash buyers or the corporate conglomerates that are buying are, through proxies are the ones that are kind of mucking up the market, and that's true. But we got to kind of wonder, at what point do the BlackRocks and the Zillows start to try and divest the, properties that they purchased over the last 2 years? And when they do that, is that going to cause a glut too?
Yeah. Who the hell knows?
Well, if I knew, I wouldn't be on this call. I'd be collecting all the money,
That's
right?
right.
So,
Yeah. I think there's certain things that we can control, certain things we cannot control.
and we can't control interest rates, but the one thing, as I've been doing this for 22 years now, when they go up, they always come back down.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, the sell through now is to tell people, look, if you can afford a year or two of a higher payment, 2 years from now, that payment's coming down when the rates come down.
Right.
And no mortgage is permanent. You
Yep.
can always rewrite it.
Right. Yeah. And it's an opportunity to get a property at a bit of a discount. They're probably 10% less than they were 6 months ago. That's what we're seeing on our listings, at least. Next point, to share with your sellers, if you have sellers, or if you're even, even if you don't have sellers right now, maybe you sold your listings, but you're prospecting for new ones. Again, important just to share expectations. Fewer showings and offers per listings. On each listing, there's fewer showings and there's fewer offers, and that's okay. That's okay. We just have to share those expectations with our clients. There's a theme to all these points, which is honesty, communication, asking questions, and honesty. Just be brutally honest with people. Next point, projections. There's the projections for the number of transactions for the rest of the year is declining. There seems to be projections on a nationwide basis from the economists that we're going to have less transactions for the second half of the year than we did for the first half of the year. Is it good? Is it bad? Who knows? It's just reality. But as we're aware, at least, of reality, we can do what is necessary to make sure that we find more business. Last year, there was about 51% of agents on the national average. So there's, I think, just under 2 million agents nationally. And 51% of those, about 1 million agents, didn't do one transaction last year. It was a tough market. It was a tough market. Next point, prices are flattening out. We've already discussed that. And what we're going to start to see is expired listings, a little bit more cancel listings, a little bit more withdrawn listings. Now in the South Bay, I haven't seen a lot of that, but it's certainly a bit of an uptick. So for those of you that work that portion of the market, this could open up some opportunity that didn't exist in the past year or two. Next point. This is not necessarily, guys, if you can tell, this is not like a fun motivational call. This is just very reality based because it's going to help us in dealing with our clients. Some of us have listings right now, and it's like, if we're not able to really share the reality with our clients, we're going to lose those listings. Or when we're taking listings, if we're not sharing the reality, we're setting the wrong expectations. This is ultimately, if you're going to be taking a listing, like we're bringing a listing out next week, we're sharing all this stuff with the client. So I'd rather be brutally honest up front, set the expectations correctly, and they're going into the situation with eyes open, okay? So next point, offers are coming in below list price for the first time in a while. For those of you that got any buyer offers accepted over the past 2 years, how many of those were under list price? Not many, right? Not many at all. It's how far over do we need to go to get the deal? 50 over, 100 over, 200,000 over. Now we're starting to see some offers come in below list price. Again, a normal market. Seller concessions are coming back, contingencies are coming back. I mean, there are agents, a lot of us participated, writing offers with no contingencies. That's changing back to a normal market. That's a scary thing to do when you're a buyer, no contingencies. So the big question about all this really is, how are you dealing with these changes? How are you dealing with these changes? How are you mentally dealing with these changes? So does anybody have any thoughts? I mean, is there fear? Is there concern? Is there a lack of education? Is there a lack of scripting? Does anybody have any initial thoughts on what's going on in the market and something that they need some direct support with or help with regard to dealing with a client or dealing with a situation at all before we move on? Phil, what you got?
So I have a group of buyers that they think, I guess they've been listening too much of the media, that the market is going to completely crash and they're gonna basically wait half a year. I don't think it's going to crash. It's definitely adjusting in my area for sure. Like you said, 10% undoubtedly, right? But how do you get them to say, look, the market is not going to crash 20, 25, 30%. We don't have bad loans anymore. We still have lack of inventory. How do you reel them back into reality? Like, okay, yes, there's deals to be made. Yes, you go under ask. Cash is going to be king again. You're going to have expires again. So how do you navigate when they tell you, I'm going to wait a year or two?
Yeah. So what I tell them is, what if you're wrong? What if the market doesn't go down? In fact, what if it goes up another 5 to 10% over the next 12 months? What I would suggest, do you know Brett Leitner? He's a lender in Manhattan Beach.
No.
I would call, so Brett did a presentation for our office the other day, and it was spectacular. And he has an understanding of, it was all about just the market and trends, and it's more than I'm able to explain. But I'll give you his phone number. Actually, I don't know if you have it, Danielle. Specifically for those clients, just call Brett and ask him about the presentation he gave to my office the other day.
Okay.
And, he's a nice guy. He's not going to ask for anything in return. Just say, Aaron asked me to call you because I have these buyers, and Aaron was telling me about. So just write down this phone number and have a quick conversation with Brett. And his phone number is 310-968-7568. First name is Brett, last name is Leitner, Lightner. But he had some wonderful data to support that the market is not going to crash at all. In fact, it'll probably be the opposite. We're in a little bit of a dip right here. So we have to have an awareness of that. But I would go back to, I think we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, Phil. Timing the market is a very dangerous game.
Right.
I mean, we just had a 10% drop, and there seems to be a degree of stability right now. But let's say you bought at the peak in 2007, or you bought at the peak in 1989. Any of that real estate is worth a fortune right now. So you kind of can't go wrong. But talk to Brett. He'll give you a more straightforward answer that with actual data. And I think once you have the data and understand the data, you'll be able to formulate a response.
Thank you.
So the question then, how do I present these factors to a seller? All right, we were just talking about buyers with Phil. How do you present? Number one, be 100% honest. Right now, honesty is like the best policy. Across the board with buyers and sellers, this is not about making promises you can't keep. You want to really stand out as a professional real estate salesperson, be 100% honest. Be 100% honest. When you sit down with a client, you can say, I'm going to share some things that'll probably make you uncomfortable, but they're important to understand to get the home sold, right? I said that the other day when I was talking to the seller. I'm going to tell you some things that are going to make you uncomfortable, but it's 100% important that you understand it to get this home sold. And I went through with my client, this is what's going on in the market. This is what's going on with rates. This is, we're seeing less price, that we're seeing price reductions. We're seeing less sales. We're seeing less showings. It really put her in line and changed the expectations. So that's number one. Number two, ask more questions. It is more important now to ask a ton more questions of your buyers and sellers than ever before. What questions do you ask? Well, every question about their motivation, where they want to be, when they want to be there, how important is it to them? What's important about the move? What happens if they don't make the move, if they don't buy or sell? In asking these questions, are they financially qualified? Are they emotionally qualified? Emotionally qualified would be like, I have to sell. I have to buy. I'm not doing this casually. I just got a job transfer. We're living in a hotel. We've got 2 kids. We have to buy. Not, you know what? We're in a beautiful house right now. We'd like to get another bedroom, but if we don't buy, not a big deal. So tons and tons and tons of pre-qualifying questions to determine the level of motivation and look for those people that have to buy and sell, not just casually want to buy and sell. So ask a lot more questions. Now there's a few words that become ultra important right now. The first is mindset. What is your mindset right now? Is it one of desperation or is it one of abundance? Is it one of scarcity? Is it one of fear? Or is it one of growth and learning? If your mindset is not where it needs to be, if you feel like you're approaching this business from more of a weaker state rather than a stronger state, here's things you can do about that. Who has some ideas on what you can do to improve your mindset starting today? How about reading an inspirational book about somebody that's done something incredible? Listening to a podcast, watching a video, participating in calls like this, just participating with anybody that you respect, anybody that does more than you do, anybody that you want to model yourself after. All of these things help your mindset. Even things like getting a good night's sleep, exercise, meditating, eating good food, that all helps your mindset. But how about just participating with people that you want to emulate? That will immediately help your mindset. The next word that's important in this market is skills. Skills. How are your skills? How are your skills? How are your skills as a professional real estate salesperson? Do you have skills around your schedule? Do you have skills around your lead generation systems? Your prospecting, whether it's calling your past clients, participating with your center of influence. I know some guys on this call do a lot of door knocking. How are your skills? Are you practicing your skills? Are you improving your skills? The next word is activity and action. Are you actually taking action? You could have a great mindset. You could have sharp skills. I know just what to say in every situation. I know that when I call my past clients, I can say all the right things. I know I can reach out to them, check in with them, be a resource, ask them great questions, find out what needs they have, ask them who they know that wants to buy or sell real estate. They love hearing from me. But are you taking action on that? Are you taking action? Are you participating every day in some sort of lead generation activity? Every day on my team, we do a morning huddle. And it's really simple. We go through some very simple questions, and it's all about accountability. It's all about taking action. So the questions are like, how many hours did you prospect yesterday? How many contacts did you make? How many conversations did you have? What leads did you generate? That's all like just accountability for action. There must be some degree of action taken every day to move your business forward. So Chad, did you take some action yesterday? Did you prospect yesterday?
Yes, I did.
Let's hear about it. How many hours did you prospect?
Door knocked for 3 hours.
Well done. And how many conversations, how many contacts did you have?
I had 34 conversations.
That's freaking beautiful. Isn't that amazing, guys? You door knocked for 3 hours and talked to, not just leave something at the door. Chad talked to 34 people yesterday. And that means, Chad, when you made 34 contacts, that's just like, oh, hi, I'm Chad, here's my card. It's like using a script, like, introducing yourself and asking them when they plan on moving. And how long have you guys lived at this address? And where'd you guys move from? And how'd you happen to pick this area? And I'm curious, if you were to move, where would you go next? 34 conversations with homeowners you were in Torrance yesterday, right?
Right.
Imagine that, guys. And you do that. Do you just do that once a week, Chad?
Every day.
No, every day.
Every day.
Every day. Chad has learned to just accept the fact that he's a prospector, right? You're just going to prospect every day, right? And we have a level of accountability around that, right? We're going to hold you accountable. What is
I just want
accountability?
clients.
Go ahead.
I just want clients.
Yeah, you just want to find.
Yeah,
Chad
I
is
want
brand new to the business. He just wants clients. Does he have listings right now? Nope. So it's like, you've got time. Let's talk to people. So 3 hours is your minimum standard, right, Chad?
Yeah.
Some days you do 4. Some days 4.5. Sometimes, you can talk to 30 or 40 people. So just imagine, guys, it's not that everybody has to do the same thing, but I put Chad on the spot for a minute just to open up a little bit of a possibility for all of us. Wait a second. You did what, Chad? You talked to how many people? I can do that. I can call 5 of my past clients. I can call 5 or 10 of my center of influence. My friends, my neighbors, people I give business to. I don't care if it's my attorney, my dry cleaners, a restaurant that I go to. I can talk to my kids' friends' parents. If Chad can door knock for 3 hours and talk to 34 people, I can make 5 phone calls to people in my center of influence and have great conversations. That's the beauty of a group like this, guys, is participating. The more we participate, the more we give ourselves permission to succeed. We're not just on this little island all by ourselves, I got to tell you, I'm in my 19th year in the business. Chad is in his first year in the business. And when I get to participate with Chad, we participate with each other a lot. I know you get a lot from your participation with me, Chad. Guess what? I get even more from my participation with you. Truly. It is just an inspiration to participate, all of us together. And that's really what this group is about. It's agents helping agents. The more each one of us does, the more we all do, the more we support each other. We're all in this thing together, right? I mean, that's truly what this business is about. How can we support each other to do more? So that's action. The next word that's important for us we'll focus on a few more words before we wrap up, is discipline. Discipline. It's not always easy, right? It takes a little bit of discipline to say, you know what? I don't feel like doing this today, but I'm going to do it. I don't want to work out, but I'm going to do it. I don't want to door knock. I'm going to do it. I don't want to call my past clients. I'm going to do it. I don't want to practice my scripts. I'm going to do it. It's discipline. It's discipline. Now, I must say that when you're involved in a group and there's a level of accountability, it's easier to be disciplined. It's a little harder when you're on your own, when you don't have that level of support. The next word is consistency. Consistency. You can't just prospect once and expect to retire off that. It takes consistency. Ray, you consistently prospect, right?
Yes.
You do. And you find business from it. Is it always fun?
No,
Is it always exciting? Do you get results every day?
not necessarily every day, but
No.
every little bit I take it as motivation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just consistency. Just consistency. There's that saying, how do you eat an elephant? And the answer, of course, is one bite at a time. You just got to consistent, little bits and pieces, just one bite at a time. Every day, just do a little bit, just do a little bit. Consistency. And the next word, 2 words, are quality and quantity. They go hand in hand. So we'll go back to Chad. Chad's a great example. Because he's a newer agent, he's still working on his quality of his presentation. And he's also working on the quantity of his presentation. every day that you are talking to people, Chad, you're getting better at it, right? And the more you do it, the easier it gets and the more you do. In the beginning, an hour a day was like, oh my God, it's like exhausting. How do you even do that? Then it went to 2 hours and then 3 hours. And now if you had the other day, Chad did not do his 3 hours. And it was so, I forgot what you said. You said like, you didn't feel good about that. You're like, oh God, I just feel like icky, like whatever it was, like, because now you've become so consistent. What used to be hard is now easy. That's what consistency and quality versus quantity brings you. And the last word that we'll discuss today is intensity. Intensity. Think about something extraordinary that you've done in your life. There was probably a level of intensity that went along with it. I could certainly stand to lose some weight and to get fit, right? I don't have a level of intensity towards that. That's what's missing. I need that. So I'm trying. I'm working on creating that level of intensity for that. But think about anything you've done in your life that you've had success. There was probably a level of intensity. Did you run a half marathon or you know, have success in business or success with your family or some project? There was a level of intensity that went with that. Amazing things happen when we get a little bit intense with it. So if you don't have intensity, how do you build intensity? Gosh, I want to have some intensity. Well, one thing we can do is really understand why we want to do these things. Really take some time and write down what your goals are with whatever you're trying to achieve and get yourself inspired and motivated, and that will automatically raise your level of intensity. So just a few thoughts about the market and about how we can approach the current market. Probably next week, we'll get back on points on prospecting and some other points that I've gotten from other big superstar agents that help grow their business to do 100 or 200 or 300 transactions. So I get to participate with so many wonderful people and I learn so much, and then we can just share it with all of us and we can all benefit from that. So let's open up the mics before we sign off. Is there anything that anyone is going through or dealing with that we can, as a group, support or help you with? Any challenges? Anything at all? Go ahead.
I think everybody who might be interested, because I do mostly flipping as a realtor, and I think this is going to be an excellent time for anybody who has a little bit of cash and times other partners, other realtors that might have, because the rental market is so high. And even if prices come down, which makes people who are renting become buyers, there's still going to be an empty spot to fill that. And I think it's a really big opportunity coming down the pike for people like me that go in and buy a property and then rehab it and resell it myself.
Yeah.
You can make great money one after another, and it's all up to you. And I showed you a little sign of mine, and it says the things that are desired. And this actually came from Think and Grow Rich book, if everybody's read it. Faith, desire, imagination, persistence are the real ingredients for you to be successful. And I believe in that. I think that if you love what you're doing, it doesn't become like something I have to do. You want to go out and do it. So, and that's just something. I've been in sales my whole life and not in real estate, but, and so I found my niche finally. I found that I get to do design and I get to help people, and I can do what a client might want that's, that I have control of doing, like with the house or putting in a yard, because they have 2 dogs and 2 kids and they need to fence the front yard so they can do little play times out in front, and I can build that fence for them. So there are things that's thinking outside the box. And I think coming up, it's going to be an opportunity for people, realtors, that can do this, and they have control. They're not only getting the sale commission, but then they turn around and they sell it. They're doing the listing as well. So, I mean, it's really a win-win. And if you don't, if you play your cards right and you really do the research in the neighborhoods and the schools, and, you know, you were talking about today that you have to aspire to inspire. And I've taken so many notes from your classes that I've put in my book that I love. And this is one that you wrote. It's not the end of the world when things go wrong. E stands for effort, N stands for never, and D stands for dies. Effort never dies. And you said to take action, aspire to inspire, sharpen your skills, know the facts, breathe vigor and have urgency, consistency, mindset, and you'll be extraordinary. And it all starts with you. And I read that every morning,
That's
Aaron.
awesome.
Those are things that you've given me. So
wow.
I think,
Thank you.
you know, if people are trying to get into real estate and do things, this is just another card in your deck of your hand that you can hold to say, hey, you know what? I got a brother and sister and 2 cousins that have a little extra money. They want to put it to good use. I'm going to invest in this house and make it a rental or whatever.
It's interesting. You remind me of something, which is that in this market, guys, you're mentioning opportunities, and there are opportunities, but you just reminded me of something, which is this. If us as agents, imagine the average agent, what they're feeling in this market, right? They're feeling a little bit of uncertainty. They're really not sure what to expect. If we're professionals and we're involved in this market, just imagine how the average, let's say, seller feels, or the average buyer. They're really feeling lost in some cases. Imagine if you're a seller and you have to sell your property, you just got a job transfer, you're moving to Austin, you have to be there in 2 months, you've got to sell your property, the market seems to be going down, you're reading all this news. Now more than ever, it becomes so valuable and so important to have a professional that you can count on, that you can really, really count on. So if nothing else that we take away, you know, we can have this empathy and confidence with our clients. There's a saying that goes, everyone secretly wants to be led. It's kind of interesting. Everyone secretly wants to be led.
Yes.
And now more than ever, having that confidence, having that conviction is such an important trait to share with our clients. Even if you don't feel 100% confident, even if you don't have total conviction, like I'm going to crush, you know what? It's okay, because when you're dealing with clients, they need your guidance. They need to be able to follow that. So I don't know if I'm totally a fan of fake it till you make it, but in some cases, to be able to display a level of confidence, conviction to your clients, really get your head screwed on straight, that in some cases is more valuable than anything else, because they feel taken care of, they feel acknowledged, and they feel that they can follow you. The last thing I wanted to mention to you guys is I put it in the chat. We're doing an event on July 28th. I'm going to be one of the speakers. Ed Kaminsky, if you guys don't know Ed Kaminsky, just incredible agent, does 150, 175 transactions.
Mr. Manhattan Beach.
Yeah, Manhattan Beach. He's going to be one of the speakers. And then we have another guy named Ricky Mendez, who's this world-renowned mindset speaker. Ricky's incredible. He writes books. He does talks all over the world for Fortune 500 companies. So he's our keynote speaker. So if you go to that link and sign up, it's thriveordieevents.com. So in this market, we have an option to thrive or die. That's where it came from. So it's thriveordieevents.com. So it's a free event. We have a bunch of sponsors that are paying for it, paying for the room, paying for everything. So it's a sponsor-driven event. So it doesn't cost anything. It's a free event, but it will sell out. So it's on Thursday, the 28th. It's in South Redondo at the Catalina Room. It can hold a couple hundred people. And it's just going to be a wonderful, wonderful, just pure educational event. So go to that, thriveordieevents.com, sign up. Bring your friends until it sells out. Take as many tickets as you want, but just bring other colleagues, other agents that want to participate in an event. I'm going to be speaking about how to find leads for free in this current market. You don't have to pay for leads. You don't have to pay for Zillow. You don't have to pay for expensive ads. You don't have to do mailers. You can find leads for free in this market. So that's what I'm going to be speaking on. Ed Kaminsky is going to be speaking on how to make $1 million a year in real estate, how to become a millionaire. Now, even if you take some of his points and make an extra few $100,000, that would be okay too. If you don't make the million, that's okay. But that's what he's going to be speaking on. And this is a guy that does that multiple times over every single year. So he's going to be sharing some absolute gold. And then Ricky is going to be speaking on just mindset fitness. And this guy's an absolute inspiration. So thriveordieevents.com. It's in the chat. And that's it. We'll end with that. And thank you all so much for participating on this call this week. And I appreciate all of you. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you guys next week. Okay.
Ditto.
All right.
Thanks.
Take care, guys. Make it a great week.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.